Some people like to go on vacation and lie on the beach. Others do not think of travel as a pleasure unless there is adventure involved. The planet is packed with interesting sights that attract tourists in their hundreds. There is a lot of variety in these attractions, ranging from tropical paradises to high-elevation summits, and they appeal to people ranging from sun worshippers to thrill seekers. However, while some locations may be breathtaking, they can also be deadly. Natural hazards, for example, might create danger, as well as high crime levels posing a risk. In this video, we will look at the top 10 most dangerous attractions in the world, but before we start, please first subscribe to Unimaginable and press the bell icon if you love watching top dangerous things in the world. The world is a dangerous place, but it is not dangerous enough for some people. Therefore, we are taking a look at the finest hotspots of the world for tourists. Who want to face death and chuckle from a high-altitude cable car to the most perilous picnic site on Earth? Here are the 10 most dangerous attractions in the world. Number 10. Steel Dragon 2000. The Nagashima Spa Land in the Mie Prefecture of Japan has a steel roller coaster called Steel Dragon 2000. It was the longest steel roller coaster in the world when it opened at the turn of the century, with a length of 8,133 feet, with a height of 318 feet and a fall of 307 feet. The track is one of the steepest lift hills in the world. Trains may reach a top speed of 95 miles per hour on this ride, making it one of the fastest lift hill coasters in the world. Beyond the usual hairpin curves, there are 2 tunnels on the route. It is often referred to as one of the most extreme roller coasters available, and it costs more than $52 million to create, far more than most steel rides. This is because considerably extra steel was required in order for it to be able to withstand an earthquake while still being safe. If you go on the ride, this is a continual hazard. There have been a few disasters since it first opened, including one in which a locomotive wheel fell off the track and was left dangling on the ground. You would be putting yourself at a considerably greater risk by riding this coaster than you would with any other. Number 9. Huashan Mountain. The number 9 is located in the Shaanxi province of China, where Huashan is one of the 5 major mountains in China and has long been a religious site, with 5 summits and a maximum height of 7,070 feet above sea level. On its slopes, there are numerous temples and structures that attract visitors up its slopes, which reach a maximum height of 7,070 feet above sea level and offer diverse activities. You have the option of going up the mountain if you like, but you will have a frightening experience along what is sometimes known as the most dangerous trek in the world. There are narrow pathways, a hazardous climb on hardwood planks without safety harnesses, and unpredictable weather patterns that can reduce visibility and cover the area and water within just a few minutes' notice. Authorities have attempted to increase overall security on the route. They have added walkways and railings to the most hazardous sections, but you still must risk your life by beginning the ascent. If you want to see what is beyond and do not want to take a chance, travel by cable car instead. Number 8. Volcano Boarding. Skateboarders have been enjoying volcano boarding for decades. Since the invention of skateboarding, skaters have looked for other ways to enjoy the rush of skateboarding while moving at high speeds and performing stunts. Wakeboarding and snowboarding are 2 activities that you may be familiar with. However, have you heard of volcano boarding? It evolved from sand surfing, which became popular in the 1970s, but with an additional difficulty of steep slopes and volcanic conditions. Volcano boarding takes things to a whole new level, since only specific conditions are required for it to be feasible, with the most popular location being on the slopes of Cerro Negro in Nicaragua. Riders use plywood boards to climb the steep slopes, then slide down the side sitting or standing along the smooth volcanic sand, as it is an active volcano. To avoid harm, riders must wear safety gear and take extreme care when visiting active volcanoes. It is far more dangerous than you may believe. There is a risk of being hit by flying lava, and there is genuine cause for concern that breathing the ash and gases in the area might damage your lungs. However, there is no such thing as an extreme sport like it, and it would undoubtedly be more popular if additional volcanoes existed where it could be done. Number 7. Insanity Las Vegas. Insanity Las Vegas is one of the most well-known and visited vacation spots in the world, drawing tourists from near and afar to try its plethora of activities and shows. If you are looking for more thrills than the casinos provide, head to the Stratosphere, which features some of the scariest roller coasters in the world. It is second tallest observation tower of North America, but it does not rest on its laurels. At the top of the structure, you shall also discover a number of rides that keep you hanging over the edge. Insanity is undoubtedly one of the most stomach-churning, and it is a spinner ride where visitors sit on a claw-like arm before being rotated beyond the side of the building and then spun until they cannot take it any longer, reaching a height of 900 feet above ground level. This is not for those with vertigo. The Stratosphere has a roller coaster and a vertical plunge ride, as well as other incidents where people have been trapped on it for more than 90 minutes. It is no surprise that the Stratosphere has become an appealing addition to the Strip for thrill seekers. Why? It is frequently claimed to be one of the most frightening attractions in the world. Number 6. CN Tower Edge Walk. The CN Tower in Toronto, Canada is the tallest observation tower in the world, standing at a height of 1,815 feet. It has provided millions of visitors with an amazing view of the city, which they can only enjoy while inside the safety of the structure. The Edge Walk, however, introduced a new experience in 2011 that would alter everything. The most thrilling experience is to climb the main pod of the tower, which measures 1,168 feet and is connected by a harness. Around the outside, there is a 5-foot wide metal floor, and you may walk hands-free all around it because there is just enough play in the wires for individuals to lean over the edge in an experience that puts your faith in equipment to the test. Although the walk is only accessible during certain times of the year when there is no wind, since the tower is frequently exposed to fierce storms and ice, it has nevertheless become one of the most popular activities in town and, without a doubt, one of the most frightening things you can do there. Number 5. Boating at the Iguazu Falls. The Iguazu Falls, located on the border between Misiones province of Argentina and Paraná state of Brazil, are one of the most beautiful natural sights in the world. They were said to be the result of a vengeful god who sliced a river in half as punishment for some transgression. It makes sense why people thought so, because it is where the Iguazu River flows over a ridge of soft rock and cuts its way through over time. You can see various views of this natural wonder depending on the water flow. The region is home to roughly 300 waterfalls, and up to half of the water passes through a danger zone known as the Throat of the Devil, which is a popular stop for tourists who may walk along a path right alongside it to experience firsthand the power of the falls. Those that want an extra thrilling journey can opt for an inflatable jet boat tour that takes them dangerously close on account of their proximity to the cascading waters. The crystal clear water and the spectacular scenery are one of the main reasons people like to go on these excursions. Obviously, come with a risk. Passengers will undoubtedly get drenched, but there have been times when the boats have capsized and even disappeared without a trace. It is one of the most hazardous boat rides in the world, but it is also one that is well worth taking. Number 4. Cage of Death. Despite the fact that people have become the most numerous species on Earth, there are still a variety of creatures who could do us serious damage if we get too close, which explains why we are so interested in such powerful animals. In Australia, you may visit the Cage of Death, which encloses visitors in a 1.5-inch thick acrylic box and plunges them into the saltwater tank. A huge piece of meat is attached beneath the cage to attract the crocodile towards the thrill seekers, and they are left there for 15 minutes as 20-foot-long, 2,000-pound beast thrashes against the walls. Taking every precaution to make sure that the Cage of Death is completely safe with each trip is probably best not to research a safety record of business before going, since if you do, you shall either decide against taking the chance or will have one of the most frightening experiences of your life. Number 3. Dracula Castle, Transylvania. Bran Castle, which is located in Transylvania central region of Romania, is one of the most famous buildings and a stunning example of medieval architecture in the world. It is one of the best-known castles in the world and a spectacular showcase of medieval construction. It does not look at all like description of Stoker of Dracula Castle, but it does hold some significance for tourists visiting Transylvania center area of Romania. It also remains to be seen whether or not the author saw it. But with so many tourists visiting the area every year, locals needed a focal point to lead them toward this approach. While it was not necessarily the origin of the legend, the castle has now become inextricably linked to tales of Dracula and is one of the most frightening and unsettling locations of Hungary. Bran Castle is an ancient castle that was built in the 12th century and served as a fort to protect locals and pioneers from roaming hordes. There is no doubt that it was a critical refuge for Vlad the Foes of Impaler during the 15th century. It has even been claimed that King Vlad spent time imprisoned at Bran Castle. Other records indicate he might have been incarcerated at another location. Because of its foreboding and eerie appearance, Bran Castle was said to be the place to terrify supporters wherever the truth may reside. You cannot dispute that Bran Castle is a towering Gothic structure with an incredibly chilling atmosphere. It is unquestionably one of the most frightening places you can visit, given its role in the bloody history of the region. Number 2. Tianmin Cable Car. There is something about the way cable cars is suspended in midair solely by a slender wire that continues to frighten and enthrall tourists from all over the world. We know it is a reasonably safe method of transportation in our heads, but when you add such huge heights into the mix, even the most hardened individuals become desperate. The most frightening cable car journey in the world is on Tianmin Mountain in China, the Zhangjiajie Cable Car, which rises to a height of 4,980 feet. It takes 28 minutes to go from the city center to the air garden at a length of 4.6 miles and is the longest cable car in the world. This is one of the most challenging cable car ascents with an angle of more than 30 degrees, spectacular mountain vistas, with little evidence of human activity. You have to wonder what would happen if any of the equipment broke down. This one, like all cable cars, is closed when there are strong winds or inclement weather. It is quite conceivable that you shall be stuck on this ride for a long time if you are on board when it stops operating. Number 1. Zhangjiajie Glass Bridge. This glass bridge has seen a surge in popularity in recent years owing to the wider availability of strong materials throughout China, and new sorts of tourist attraction glass bridges have emerged. There are now at least 2,300 of them across China, but the Zhangjiajie Grand Canyon Glass Bridge that spans between two mountain ridges in National Forest Park is the outstanding one. When it opened in 2016, the tower was 1,410 feet long and was suspended 982 feet above the valley floor beneath it. Despite the fact that physics states that a bridge to be safe, a metal frame with 122-inch tempered glass panels attached to it was employed. The design was shut just 2 weeks after the opening owing to several safety concerns, since so many people came to see it that it could not handle the traffic, having been planned to accommodate 800 persons at a time and accommodate 8,000 visitors per day. If the warnings are not enough to scare you, operators have some dirty methods to ensure you remember there is a harness swing at the bottom of the bridge for adrenaline junkies, and that there are workers who walk along the bridge with a sledgehammer and shatter some of the glass on top, visibly cracks beneath feet of people. Well, this is the end of video. Do not forget to click the subscribe button and press the bell icon if you like the video. Thank you for watching the video.